So the Chiefs have major ties to Jeremiah Love, and we're going to talk about that.
Oh, it's just me. Where'd Steve go? Hey, appreciate you guys being here tonight. We're going to talk about Jeremiah Love. We're going to talk about a bunch of other stuff. But first, we want to shout out DraftKings. Take a listen to this message. We'll be right back.
The next great touchdown is coming, and you can bet on it. All Chiefed Up has teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, and just because the regular season has ended, it doesn't mean the excitement has to end. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. New customers can even turn $5 into $300 if your bet wins, paid out in bonus bets. So sign up using our promo code ACU. And again, new customers who bet $5 can turn that into $300 if your bet wins, paid out in bonus bets. With DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Thanks, baby.
Yeah.
Sign up if you
Get
haven't
them.
already. Steve, you're back. Thanks for hanging me out to dry there. Didn't know
them,
what the
baby.
hell happened.
I was going to let you do it. You talk about DraftKings. Yeah, download that. Use our promo code ACU, guys. Let's freaking go. Mike, we got some stuff about Jeremiah Love today and how he links to the Chiefs. Pretty hot topic on X. Everybody's been talking about it, and we already know that everybody, well, not everybody, but a majority of fans want the Chiefs to get that star running back, and we've heard Jeremiah Love over and over and over again ever since our season was over.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about. But look, I'll say this. I think a lot of people want the Jeremiah Love pick. There was a lot more a few weeks ago. It's starting to drift into like wide receiver territory. You're still getting a lot of people wanting pass rush, things like that. So we'll absolutely see what happens here. But yeah, the Chiefs actually requested to speak today to a former. I mean, the Chiefs are getting the band back together here. That's all there is to it. We had Adam Schefter come out and said the Chiefs requested to interview Raiders running back coach Deland MCullough for their running back position. McCullough was with the Chiefs from 2018 to 2020. So the ties is that McCullough was also, he's the one that recruited Jeremiah Love to Notre Dame. He was running backs coach there from 22 to 23. And in 2024, he was the associate head coach and running backs coach. And then this past season, he was with the Raiders. So there's some ties there to Jeremiah Love. He's the one that recruited him in. He's the one that come up with a really good plan to get him in place up there in South Bend. He's just somebody that Jeremiah Love actually really likes. Now, is that going to translate into us being able to get him? Maybe not. He may not last at number 9. And I don't see the Chiefs trading up to get him. And there's also some other running backs he has ties to. Jadarian Price also played at Notre Dame. So that's a possibility in maybe round 2.
Yeah, for sure. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. I turned it up. I saw everybody complaining. But yeah, man, we all know Jeremiah Love's pretty elite anyway. We know he's got the elite explosiveness and speed, elusiveness, all that. And that's the thing. A lot of the fan base wants a game-breaking running back that can just hit a home run at any time. And we don't get enough long yardage and everything like that. So, the ties to this dude, it's kind of interesting, right? It's like, could that indicate that that's where their head is? Like, are they maybe going to look at him or what? But I don't know. Maybe. But like you said, he's tied to other running backs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Jadarian Price is another one. I mean, Jadarian Price, some people are saying, could be the second best running back in this class behind Jeremiah Love. Currently, I have him at number 3. I've got Jonah Coleman, Washington, above him right now, but Jadarian Price is my number 3 running back. Love and Price both can run the zone scheme very, very effectively. I'll say it that way. The one thing that kind of scared me a little bit about Price and that way, I think Love, honestly, is one of the blue chip prospects in this draft.
Right.
Is he going to be, like the Bijan Robinson and stuff? I don't know. I'm not 100% there, but I don't think he's far behind. I honestly think he's one of the blue chippers in this class, and I'd put him right there with like maybe Caleb Downs. I don't even know if I want to put Bain in that category just yet. I want to see how he tests. I want to make sure that he's got enough. I mean, if you watch Bain play, he's got a lot of potential. He can set the line. He's fierce in the run game. He can get after the quarterback. But we've talked about this before. I don't think Bain is 100% a double-digit sack guy. every year. He's just not.
Right.
He's not twitchy enough. I don't think he's going to have long arms enough. But he's a hell of a football player, and he could wreck a game. I just don't think he's a blue chip prospect. Again, I think Love and Caleb Downs might be the only two guys right there for me. There may be one other one. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but maybe another one. Maybe a wide receiver, Lemon or Tyson. But I don't know if they're blue chippers just yet in this class. But Jadarian Price, he's pretty good. I think when I watched his film this past year, the first few games, he just had to split so much time with Jeremiyah Love. He couldn't get in a groove. So I was seeing him actually doing some of the things that Pacheco used to do, or still does actually, running up the back of, linemen and things like that. But then second half of the season, Jadarian Price turned it on, and he's a one cut and go dude. Like he is tough to track down. He's a monster in the open field. So I think he's better than Pacheco. But the first few games of film in 2025 was a rough watch for Jadarian Price. But I still think he's the number 3 running back in the class.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy that two of them's on the same team, right? But no, I think Jeremiyah Love is a blue chip prospect. I think that Caleb Downs is. Reuben Bain's on the borderline there for me. I think he very well could prove to be that. Like if he gets into the league, I think he could do that. But it doesn't feel like a sure thing, does it? But
No.
I love watching the kid play. But back to Jeremiyah Love, though, man. When you talk about Jeremiyah Love, a lot of people are saying like this is a generational talent type guy. You know what I'm saying? Like. He's a Saquon Barkley. He's a Bijan Robinson. And I don't know if that's fair. Like, I don't know if I can put him into that tier. And I keep turning my volume up, guys. I don't know why it's not changing. But y'all let me know if I get too loud, and I'll keep cranking it up. Anyway, I think mainly with Jeremiyah Love, I feel like he's more in that ballpark of, like, Jahmyr Gibbs. Or let's see who else, like a Alvin Kamara or something like that. Like I don't know if he reaches the level of Christian McCaffrey or these crazy elite backs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can get there with that. I could say that, but I still think he's a freak athlete. He's probably the best athlete this entire draft, maybe besides Caleb Downs again. He's got so many good intangibles, and I've seen a lot of people say, well, running back's not a game-changing position. I think it absolutely could be if you use them properly. You see now Saquon Barkley, he was vital in the Eagles championship run last year. Now, I would say this, once he got to the Super Bowl, we kind of handled Saquon Barkley pretty well, and it took a great defensive game, and it took a great effort from the quarterback there to actually, get the big win over us, but I think the league's changing a little bit. I think it's getting away from the aerial and it's getting more towards the ground and the defense.
Right.
But good wide receivers, good playmakers in general, be it Jackson Smith and Jigba, be it Bijan Robinson, these are all kind of guys that can change a game. If you put the ball in Christian McCaffrey's hands, he absolutely turned the 49ers around.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's been insane since the Panthers, Can Jeremiyah Love be a guy like that, you think? Like I understand, I don't put him right there with those top college prospects like Bijan Robinson and Saquon Barkley and CMC and all them, but I feel like he's knocking the door. But like I said, I feel like I got him more in a tier with like a Jahmyr Gibbs, Alvin Kamara type thing because I mean, if I don't know, I just a number 9 for a running back.
It seems high. It really does. But
that's my thing. Like, if you're going to take a running back at number 9 overall, and that's saying if he even makes it there, which I don't think he's going to, but if he does, that's a big investment. And to not just be I feel like Robinson and Saquon Barkley were like sure hits. Like I felt like those were like can't miss. Like these guys are gonna cook, man. Like they're just going to.
Right.
I think Jeremiyah Love leaves me a little window of, maybe not. Don't know if he's worth the number 9.
I can feel it. I mean, he's obviously he's head and shoulders the best running back in this class. Like you said, he may not get to number 9, and then so at the two things can be true. He may not get to number 9 because he is one of the 3-4 best players in this draft, in my opinion. But you are going to have a player like, for example, Francisco Mendoza. He is not a better prospect than Jeremiyah Love, but he will go first because of a need. Right. So it doesn't mean that he's one of the top players in the class. I mean, Kyle Hamilton was one of the top players in the class a few years ago, and nobody would take him, and he ended up landing with the Ravens. But you see what he did with the Ravens. He actually was a big piece to that defense there. So I think that you shouldn't be scared to take players that you think maybe it's too early to take, possibly. I think those days are over. I think you got to get good key football players. A lot of people saying Caleb Downs isn't worth taking at number 9. I call BS on that. If Caleb Downs is sitting there number 9, you better 100% do your due diligence on that kid because he's really good.
Yeah, he's really good.
People said that Eric Berry was too early when we took him. That's BS. Like, Eric Berry was great for this franchise. So, look, Jeremiyah Love has got all the intangibles. I still think he's a blue chip prospect. He's light on his feet. He's got good vision. He accelerates. He's got home run potential across the board. The only cons I have on him is he's not he's not the best when it comes to, like, shaking defenders. I think he much more prefers to initiate the contact rather than juke around you. So take that as it may, and that's why I think that's not why he's being compared to, say, like you said, the Christian McCaffreys of the world. And I think his pass protection could be a little better. I don't think he's the best pass protector in this class, although he is pretty good at pass protection. So if there was any knocks, it would be pass pro, and that's a big one with Mahomes. That's a big one with Andy Reid. So you've got to watch that. But again, McCullough has links to a lot of guys. He's got links to, again, Jadarian Price. He's got some links to some guys in free agency probably along the board. I mean, he helped develop Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let's hope they don't want to bring him back and start it. But one of the big ones was another guy that I thought the Chiefs actually may have been considering a few years ago in free agency, and he ended up going to the Raiders this year with McCullough, and he is a home run speedster threat that knows the blocking schemes that McCullough wants to run, and that's Raheem Mostert. That's another guy you can see the Chiefs maybe throw some money at, maybe be that like that third, fourth running back option. Mostert is a guy, and we know that he wanted Kareem Hunt, so I think Kareem Hunt will be back on a 1-year deal as well.
Yeah, well, Raheem Mostert's a speedster from hell too. So, and you know how the Chiefs fall in love with any kind of elite speed, but man, with Jeremiyah Love, like, and that's the main one that we're talking about here because it's essentially draft season. Even though it's 3 months away, it's draft season, right? But I think with him, if he goes to the right team, he could be a massive weapon. But I think if he ends up in a bad situation, it could kind of be like, you know, when Saquon was at the Giants, now he still put up numbers, but he had, he just wasn't performing. Look what he did the first year he went to the Eagles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it really depends on situation. But I think, like, I made some notes, and that's what I was just looking at with Jeremiyah Love. And first thing I wrote down was if he needs to go to the right team. And I wrote a list of, like, 5 teams that I think that he could go to and excel at. And number 1 on that list is the Chiefs. I think it's the perfect opportunity.
It's a perfect position for him, to be honest.
It's a perfect opportunity for him. Now, here's the thing. I think most draft analysts probably have Jeremiyah Love in their top 3 prospects of this draft. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that he couldn't fall to 9 because running back's not at the top of everybody's list. Right?
Exactly.
But, I mean, can you go through 8 teams that don't need one? I also think the 49ers could use him. I mean, that's a great person to pair up with CMC, and his contract's coming up, and he's injury prone, and they
would have to come up really far to get that.
Yeah, the Texans, that would be a good fit. Once again, they'd have to come up to get him, and then the Detroit Lions, they'd like to use the 1-2 punch, so they've been doing that with Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. But could you imagine a 1-2 punch of Jahmyr Gibbs and Jeremiyah Love? Now, here's the thing. Jeremiyah Love, he's going to be a 3-down back somewhere, 100%. So I do think the Chiefs are the best fit for him. I think it makes the most sense. The Chiefs have needed the running back. The fans know it. The analysts know it. And I do think it's a popular topic for sure. You guys, let us know what you think in the chat. Just put a yes or no if you would draft Jeremiyah Love at number 9.
Right, I'm excited to see what people think.
If he's there, he's available. I could put a poll up, but we'll let you put it in the chat. Just yes or no.
Right. Obnoxious says, so you're saying Love could be this year's Ashton Genty, an elite running back that's in the wrong situation with the wrong team?
Correct.
Possibly, yeah.
That's exactly what happened to Ashton Genty, right?
We've seen him being mocked as early as number 3 to the Cardinals. I absolutely think that with the Cardinals in the right situation, you could be okay. But because Kyler Murray is not the most dynamic quarterback in the world, you could stack the box on him and he may not be as potent as he would be in Kansas City. Because you cannot do that. Imagine all the four rushing linemen and the fronts that Mahomes has to deal with, and he's automatically thrown into 7, DBs and linebackers and things. And look, when you've got 7 people back there that you're throwing to, your lanes are getting tighter. They know where you're at. Your field's getting smaller. Everything, windows. And we've already seen, we'll talk about this in a minute too. We've already seen our wide receivers can't get open for shit. That's the most blunt way I can say it. They are horrible. They are so bad. Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, none of them could get open this year. They were all in a horrible, I'll show you a chart. It's been going around. They have been just a monstrosity. I don't have it loaded up, but I'll bring it up in a little bit. And the only one that was even slightly good was one guy that could beat the zone on a regular basis. That was Juju. And it's like, okay, this isn't working. And some of that could be Connor Embry, maybe. But we're hoping that Chad O'Shea can turn this around. We probably need some more dynamic wide receivers that can do something. But again, when you've got limited wide receivers, you're dropping 7 every time. You can't do that anymore with a playmaker like Jeremiyah Love back there. You cannot do it.
Right.
It's that simple.
That's what we need. We do need it. I would not be mad at it. I wouldn't, I've been saying the entire time, like, we got to get some pass rush on this team. We've got to make this happen. And I still agree with that, but I couldn't be mad at the Jeremiyah Love pick. Whoever just shout out Genty in the chat, that I'm glad that you brought him up, because
obnoxious.
I actually think that Ashton Genty wasn't as big of like a blue chip prospect as he was. I actually think that Jeremiyah Love can kind of beat him when you start looking at that. Like, Genty's going to win by volume. Genty was a tackle breaking machine. But I think in just pure efficiency and explosion, might give that to Jeremiyah Love. So that might be like a good range to put him in. He's like, right around Ashton Genty. So I like that, man. Shout out Ron. I've been a member for 24 months now. Let's freaking go, Ron. Appreciate you, brother. And then Dawn, been a member for 9 months. Shout out Dawn. Let's go, guys. Appreciate you guys. If you'd like to become a member, go to join.allchiefedup.com. It's just $4.99 a month. Help you boys out. Let's do it. Let's build that ACU crew. You guys also hit that like button real quick if you haven't yet. Let's get more people in here. Talk some more football, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, and we'll get to you as we can. But yeah, so do you think that this McCullough dude, do you think there's, like I mentioned, it would be it's interesting that they went that route because of all of the speculation of Jeremiyah Love going to the Chiefs anyway. Do you think there's anything to that, or do you think that's, pure happenstance?
Look, this isn't a case of college where all these guys get to choose where they go and you just recruit them. The Chiefs absolutely cannot sit back at number 9 and just wait on Jeremiyah Love. He may fall in your lap, he may not. Also, I think if you've got guys like Ruben Bain or maybe even Mekhi Lemon, considering the wide receiver situation, or the way that the entire wide receiver group that we have right now is complete ass in 2025, even if Mekhi Lemon's not on the board miraculously, you might have to look at like a Jordan Tyson or somebody like that. Somebody that can beat man-to-man coverage, across the board. But there's plenty of room. You got Peter Woods. You've got all these defensive guys that you may consider. Keldrick Falk. You can't just put all your eggs in the Jeremiyah Love basket. You've got to be smart. And I think free agency is first. And so just like they did Jalen Moore last year and then landed Josh Simmons in the draft becomes luxury. Jeremiyah Love would have to be a luxury pick at that point. You've got to address our shoddy running back room in free agency. You have to do it. And if you go out and spend money on Etienne, you go out and spend money on Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, any of those guys, say goodbye to Jeremiyah Love, because you're not pairing those two together.
Right.
So I think Brett Veach absolutely 100% may go in. Okay, look, I'll say this. I don't expect a zebra to change its stripes. So with Andy Reid, we knew what he was going to do. Bieniemy was probably the top option. He's here. He's went out of the box a little bit with Chad O'Shea. He's hiring some guys right now. He's going back and looking at McCullough right now. He's already been with the Chiefs. So he's still hiring from his own tree. He hired a couple quality control guys today, and one of them's from Villanova. Surprise, surprise. Like, they love going up to that Northeast where Delaware, and they've got all those scouts and where Brett Veach and all them went to college. they're in the same conference, I think, as Delaware, Villanova at one point. I don't know if they still are, but they were. I think it was like a D2. I don't know. Don't quote me to that. But anyways, it's up there. They play each other a lot. So look, I don't think Brett Veach maybe changes his philosophy on running backs. He don't tend to want to invest too high, although he did do it with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So you do have the option. But I think that Brett Veach may come to the conclusion that, hey, we need a playmaker at running back. If I can afford it, I may try to swing a Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker. And if he does that, Jeremiyah Love's just going to be, sorry, guys. But Jadarian Price maybe in round 3, if he were to fall to 3, he's still an option, I guess. Because you could have 2 guys. You could have that 1-2 punch there. That would be pretty insane. You've always got to have an insurance policy, and you'd be able to have them on a 4-year pennies deal, basically. So
Right.
It is what it is. It just depends on what he does in free. That's the thing about the draft. We're 3 months away from it, but you're only about a month and say 2 to 3 weeks away from free agency, and that is the big one that everybody's wanting to skip over. Like, we're also horned up over the draft. Everybody's like Jeremiyah Love and Mekhi Lemon and draft. Free agency is first, and the Chiefs will address free agency first because they must, and it's always going to be you take what you get and you fill holes in free agency. You cannot rely on the draft because in that entire draft we get 5-6 picks after we get a comp. So you can't fill everything in a draft. You just can't
I've been
do it.
saying that, Mike. I've been saying that the Chiefs have to be a better, a bigger player in
Yes,
free agency
absolutely.
because that's where I think Brett Veach has kind of failed over the years. He's done okay at the draft. I mean, a lot of people think he's like an elite drafter, but I don't think, he's definitely had some stinkers. So I don't know if I act like that. But
I don't think he's elite. I think
but
he's
been okay. He's been pretty good.
He's A tier. He's not S tier.
Right. And that being said, I've always said, hey, man, we got to get some more proven players in here. Instead of always trying to hit in these draft picks, let's take advantage of free agency and quit signing, measly little signings or even spending a lot of money on stuff like Christian Fulton or Jawan Taylor and weird things like that. I mean, Taylor wasn't even going to be our left tackle, and we spent that much money on a right tackle. Just a very odd move. But this year, you mentioned him already, Breece Hall is somebody that Brett Veach wanted. Brett Veach was trying to trade for him at the trade deadline. And we can also talk about the pass rushers, too. He was also trying to trade for Boye Mafe. So if he were to go out and land one of those 2 in free agency, then you can start talking about the draft about, are we going to go pass rush at number 9? Are we going to go running back? You'll have to, like you said, you got to see how that free agency plays out. Shout out About Time for being a member for 22 months. Let's freaking go, Slapnut crew. Pass rush priority, please. And then we got Sammy in the house with a 2 bomb. Says Bain is my top defensive end. Number 2 is Falk or Parker. I like it, Sammy. Really high for Falk. Now, if Fitz with the Chiefs, he's probably number 1, honestly. But he's not. I think he might have got my top 5 in my initial. But yeah, there's a lot of guys I like. Now, some of the guys I like Cassius Howell, he just doesn't fit our scheme, right? Or Derek Moore from Michigan. It's like these are guys that don't play with their hand in the dirt. They're guys that don't do a lot. They're just pass rush specialists, like outside linebackers. But Bain and Falk and Parker are probably the 3 best fits for the Chiefs. So I absolutely agree with that, Sammy. What do you think, Mike? Do you think is there anybody else that really fits the Chiefs better than Falk?
Falk does. I think Bain fits the
traditionally.
Yeah, Bain is right there. I mean, the one knock would be his arm length with Spags. But yeah, Falk's got everything. TJ Parker absolutely has got enough size. He's killing people this week at the Senior Bowl. He's just absolutely just destroying people. I think there's a few other guys. Zion Young out of Missouri's having a pretty good week at the Senior Bowl, and I think he fits. He's in the 260s. I think he weighed in at 265-ish.
Yeah.
Ashton Gelati was 260-ish. So I'll say that I think that Zion Young is a better.
He's a little taller and thinner, though, right?
He is, but
than
honestly,
Ashton
I think
Gelati.
he's just as strong as Gelati. I love Ashton Gelati, but if you watch his film, he plays pretty strong.
I think I've said this on here before, but when I watched Zion Young's tape, I kind of thought of Carlos Dunlap. Because I think it was the length.
He's got
and
vibes.
stuff.
Yeah, I see T.J. Parker and all them doing that.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. There's going to be a few more guys that pop up down the board. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I don't think that Personally, right now, I'm not at the point where I'm comfortable. You're not drafting Parker at number 9. You're just not doing it. Like, he may slide in the back of the first round if he has a good combine, follows up this with, a good pro day or something.
Yeah.
Falk, I'm not comfortable spending a number 9 pick on Falk right now. I'm just not. Now, the Chiefs may be. I would not be. Bain, I would be very comfortable at number 9. I mean, absolutely. I think that's a steal if he falls to number 9.
Obviously, I don't think Bain's ever going to be at number 9, but if he is, sure.
I don't.
By
but
all
yeah,
means.
You never say never, right? It's possible.
I mean, things happen. We're still, like we said, a few months outside of the draft, and people drop all the time. I mean, Bain might decide to smoke weed out of a gas mask. You never know.
Yeah,
I mean, anything can happen.
Laramie
Tunsil.
Tunsil?
Yeah, but well,
Dude.
check this out, man. What about this? What if I want to hear what you have to say here. What if Peter Woods was also available at number 9?
Yeah.
Where does he fall into this? Like, do you take Bain over Peter Woods, or do you take Peter Woods over Bain?
Personally, I got Bain rated higher than Peter Woods.
Same.
I think, unless something happens, again, unless those arms really become a concern, unless Peter Woods just really cranks it up at his pro day or something, I think most people's going to have Bain rated higher than Woods. It's going to be close on some draft boards, but I still think Bain would probably be I told somebody this the other day on X. They argued me, and surprise, surprise, they were wrong. Bain is going to be a top 10 on everybody's draft board, just about, on every team's draft board. And for most draft analysts and for most teams, he's going to be a top 7. I'll put it at least 7. I think that's about right where he's going to set at maybe his lowest.
Yeah.
Now, there are some oddballs. I think Phil Yates, the one that does stuff with Mel Kiper. Again, Phil Yates out of everybody. I don't know if I trust Phil Yates over every single person like Todd McShay and all these people. But right. Phil Yates had him at like 14 or 15 on his initial big board. I think he's going to eventually move him back up, and I think at the end of the year, Phil Yates will have him in the top 10. 100%. And so people are getting really confused by these mock drafts that are coming out. Mel Kiper's got us taking him at number 9. Who was it? I think it was the other day. Daniel Jeremiah mocked somebody, and I was thinking, look.
I think he put Ruben Bain, right?
I think he did too. And the thing is I was like, look, I don't think Bain's going to get to number 9. And everybody's like, well, why? They keep mocking him that. And I'm trying to tell people, big boards and player rankings are not mock drafts. When people do mock drafts, they will fall into this thing where they try to find a good fit for the team. And so they'll start picking from their draft board because they don't know individual teams' draft boards. And so all I was trying to say was that the likelihood of Bain falling to number 9 is very slim. And the dude told me that that's crazy. There's nobody because of this, this, and this. And I was trying to tell him big boards are not draft boards, are not mock drafts. And
right.
he used Daniel Jeremiah. Well, Daniel Jeremiah had him here. And I was like, well, when he comes out with his first big board, you're going to see where Ruben Bain is. And the guy told me I was dumb. And then the very next day, he comes out with his big board, and Ruben Bain, surprise, surprise, was number 6 on his board, or 7. So, again, he hit top 7. I think that you just have to be smart here. Don't be so emotional. And the Chiefs can't do it either. You just about take best player available. You can't be too pigeonholed on what you want to do.
Right. Well, Turd, with the 5 bombs, what's your thoughts on EB Presser? Will he be able to convince Andy to run out of center or under center or a gun in 2026?
I love the EB Presser. It was fun listening to EB again. I think EB means, Steve, we talked about this. He has so much more character and personality than all these other stick in the mud coaches.
You get a little bit more out of him.
Yeah, like
right?
Andy didn't want to get up there and hum-ho around and say the same stuff over and over, week in, week out. Even Mahomes gets into that, where he'll just say the same things over and over and over. And then EB kind of just, he shows some emotion. He gives you a little bit of fire and passion, and you see what there is to like about him. So I really like the EB Presser. Will he be able to convince Andy to run out of center or gun in 2026? Andy's going to do what Andy does.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you may get more under center runs, but I wouldn't. I mean, again, I don't think I'd bet on it.
I think if EB's adamant about it and kind of convinces Andy, like, hey, we got to get back to this a little bit, I think it's a possibility. I don't think it would be like a major, huge change, but I think you could see it kind of trend that direction. And then if it's working, I think Andy's smart enough to be like, okay, well, let's do it some more. But then again, Andy's a man that's very set in his ways, so we'll see about that. Well Turd with another 2 says, have you seen Kristen Miller of Georgia yet? I have seen him. I know he's forgone his last year of college eligibility to enter the draft. I'll tell you where I'm at with Kristen Miller, Mike. Like, he's going to be a solid day 2 pick. But like when you start like comparing him to, say, Peter Woods, for example,
Right.
it's a different tier of player. He doesn't have the pass rush upside, that Peter Woods has. And the thing about that is Peter Woods could really use some refinement in his pass rush. I mean, honestly, he doesn't have any go-to moves, nothing like that. He does everything with brute force, and he still, is a different level than Kristen Miller. Now, that's not saying that he's not a good prospect, because I think he's going to be a very solid day 2 pick for somebody. He definitely gets it done in the run game for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's day 2 pick. He could have been considered day 1, but I think Kristen Miller is going to be behind Caden McDonald out of Ohio State when it's all said and done. You're seeing this week, Caleb Banks show up out of Florida, 6'6", 334. He is showing up and balling out at the Senior Bowl. Like, people are loving him. You've seen Darrell Jackson from Florida State. Kristen Miller might stay above Darrell Jackson because Darrell Jackson just kind of reminds you of that like big brute force run stuff, or like a Pinnell or whatever.
Right.
And then Kristen Miller at 305. He's got a little more pass rush, I'm pretty sure, than Darrell Jackson from what I've seen so far. But you've also got guys like out of Texas Tech. You've got Lee Hunter that just came on flying this week, and people just now realized Lee Hunter was a good football player. And it's funny because we were talking about Daniel Jeremiah earlier. Daniel Jeremiah had him taken at like number, I want to say like mid-teens, early 20s. He had him taken above Peter Woods, and people's freaking out over it. And then 3 days later, he shows up at the Senior Bowl and just is dominating people. So Lee Hunter's a guy at 6'3", 330 that it could be a first-round pick now. So I think Miller sits firmly behind probably Caden McDonald, Caleb Banks, and probably Lee Hunter at this point, and then also Peter Woods. So Kristen Miller, I don't think there's going to be 5 defensive tackles taken in the first round. So I think you're right. I think Kristen Miller is going to fall in that second round. And I think that's about where he deserves. He had a little shoulder surgery after the 2024 season, and I don't think in 2025 he was as dominant as he should have been. So I do think he'll probably slide to the second round, but he's a decent football player.
Yeah. Got a 2 bomb from Tony Bone here. Says, just showing some love, AC Crew. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man.
We got Sammy with a 2. Says, perfect fits for us are Woods, Lemon, and Love. 100%. I mean, I think those are all really great fits. Bain's a good fit. Keldrick Faulk's a good fit. There's quite a few players in this draft that fit the Chiefs and fit the Chiefs' needs. So, although I think this draft is not necessarily as strong as you would like it to be when the Chiefs have a top 10 pick, I still think it's a good draft where the Chiefs can kind of replenish their needs and maybe even hit on some players, man. I think there's some sleepers in this draft, though. I'm starting to find that out. Like, when I'm really starting to dig in, it's like this draft class just seems a little bit weak for my liking. But at the same time, I still find these players here and there, and I'm like, maybe they could be this nice little piece, man. And there's a few out there, but you're pretty spot on with it, Sammy, right here. Mike, besides Keldrick Faulk, is there anybody else that Sammy didn't talk about that you watch them and you're like, oh, that's a perfect Chiefs fit?
Are you specific, like defensive end, edges, or like
no,
anywhere
just
across
any
the board?
players in the draft? Like, have you seen anybody where just like, man, they really fit our scheme, or they fit our needs and scheme, whatever,
Yeah. There's a few. One of them I'll talk about today. He's come on at the Senior Bowl. I wanted to talk about him last week or the week before. He's he's a my guy. He's a my guy. He balled out at the Senior Bowl. He's starting to make himself known. His presence is starting to be felt. I didn't really talk about him last week or the week before because we didn't really talk about edges too much, but he's out of Illinois. Gabe Akis, 6'3", 279, 280.
He's a beast.
That kid can get after the passer. He was his story is great. Like, his mom come over. They live in Florida. He come up. He's an all-state wrestler champion. The dude struggles. Like, he never gets out of the film room. He just doesn't. He's super, like, attentive to detail. He's always working on his game. He wanted to be a captain of the Illinois team. He got it. He celebrated that. Like, he is just a good kid across the board. And he's got a heck of a bull rush. He's fast enough. I think that kid's going to be good. I think he fits us. Gabe Akis, I don't know if pick 40 is going to be too in the second round. I don't know if that's going to be too rich for him. If he falls to round 3, I'd absolutely love that. but I don't know. You may have to do it at pick 40. Another guy I'll say I really like is out of the running back room, and it's not Jeremiyah Love or Jadarian Price. There's two guys I really like. And actually, I'll throw in a third one that I really like out of the running back room.
I got one too, and I think we're going to say the same.
You have
guy.
a running back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say my first one, and then you can go. I think he's rated number 2 on my board, and I think you could get him at number 40. That's where. So if you can't get Jeremiyah Love, or you don't need Jeremiyah Love, for example, if you just want to go ahead and get Peter Woods or Mekhi Lemon, I really like Jonah Coleman out of Washington at pick 40. I think that would be a great addition. He's 5'8", 227. He's built like a bowling ball, and to me, he does everything right. Like, he is so quick and elusive and gets up to top speed so fast. He brings power. He brings punishment. He's really good in the zone game. I think he rated a PFF an 85 in zone ranking, which is what we run a lot. He had an 82 elusive rating. He gets almost 4 yards after contact per attempt. He had 562 yards after contact. 11 carries this year that went over 15-plus yards, which is what we need. We need somebody that can chunk off big plays, and he had 35 missed tackles forced this year. Jonah Coleman out of Washington, I really love his running style.
All right, I thought you were going to say my dude, man. The guy that I really like in the running back room, and me and you talked about this the other day, dude, Mike Washington Jr.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he was one of my 3. Good job.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome to watch, and he's 6'2", probably about 225-ish, 226. But when I watched his tape, man, like, I'm just, watching him dominate out there, and like just his size and like some of his tendencies and things like that. He really reminded me of Derrick Henry at times. And I know that's like a huge comp. That's like a huge comp, and you normally don't want to go that big with a comp, but it is really what I saw. I mean, he's so explosive. He's got the burst and the downhill momentum, and I just feel like he has the vision and the patience that Derrick Henry has too. So it's not all just about the size and the strength. I mean, you'll see Derrick Henry kind of get led by his blockers a lot, holding their backs and things like that. I've seen a lot of those traits from Mike Washington Jr., and he's also got some receiving ability. A lot of those bigger backs like that, you don't really think about that much, but it's not exactly elite or anything. But I still think he shows competence in catching passes out of the backfield, and he has decent hands, and of course he's going to get good yak. So I'm a fan, man. I've been watching a lot of his tape, and I really like him. And I still haven't really ranked my running backs, but I have a feeling he's going to be up there pretty good for me.
Yeah, I absolutely love Mike Washington Jr. He was one of my 2. And so, yeah, I think he weighed in the other day at 228. But he's got a muscular frame. Like you said, he absorbs contact. He runs downhill so much. He's always looking to punish people at the second level. He pressures the second level really quickly. He'll get to linebackers and safeties, the third level. He'll get there so fast because he is very decisive with his vision, which is what we need. He's got quick jump cuts, great stop-start ability. Weird that kind of scares me a little bit is throughout his career, he's played 5 years because 1 year he only got to play like 2 or 3 games, and then he transferred. 10 career fumbles. So that's not great. But for a pro comp, if you remember the kid out of he never really had a great NFL career, but he was great in college. Do you remember out of Alabama, Steve, T.J. Yeldon? A quicker T.J. Yeldon is who I comped him to. So I thought that was a really good one.
What happened to that guy?
He didn't do much. If you remember, he went to wasn't it Jacksonville for a little while?
I think so. It was Jacksonville.
So the other running back I'll say that I kind of like is a kid out of Indiana. Actually, I like both kids out of Indiana. There's 2 of them. They kind of split the backfield. Kalon Black and Roman Hemby. Funny thing is McCullough actually has ties to Roman Hemby. He was recruiting him when he come out as a high school player in Maryland. So I really like Roman Hemby and Kalon Black, but I think Kalon Black may be a little better. Both of them have high rushing grades per PFF. They both excel in zone rushing. They're both decently they're not as elusive as you want to be, but they're very average. They both get good yak. They both have had Kalon Black had 16 15-yard carries this year, and Hemby had 14, and then they both forced 30 and 37 missed tackles respectively. So they both offer some receiving skills. Both of those guys you could probably get round 4, 5, 6, and honestly, they could even drop kind of like we seen our boy last year from SMU that we ended up picking up in round 7. So it's one of those kind of things, but I really like both of those Indiana backs.
For sure. We got Josh Vasquez, sorry, in the house with a 2. Says thoughts on Derek Moore, edge out of Michigan. Mike, this is one of the first guys. I think I had him in my initial top 5, and me and you had a quick, a little discussion about him.
Yeah.
And you know, like the thing about it is, I really like the kid. Like I think he's going to be a beast, but also just the way that he plays in Michigan, it's just all standing up, and He's basically just a pass rush specialist. That's all you're going to get from Derek Moore. But, Mike, he's been impressing people at the Senior Bowl as well, right? I mean, we've seen some plays of him just crushing people.
He's running people over. I will say this. They do those drills, tackles versus edges. They do them in the end zone, and those end zones are painted. And when you have a painted end zone and you're a tackle trying to slide step, it gets slippery. So you get a lot of guys getting just completely train wrecked. And they may not do that on a normal part of the turf. But Derek Moore, actually, I like him. He's 6'3". I want to say 260 is 265. In 2024, he only had 3 sacks, so he upped his sack total. But his true pass rush win rate in 2024 was staggering. It was 35% or something like that. It was insane.
That's crazy. He
can get after the passer, man. He can get after the passer, and I think he got a lot better in 2025 over 2024. So I like Derek Moore. Again, I think he's more of like a wide 9 technique guy, just standing up on the edge, almost like an outside linebacker. But I'm going to say this. At 265, he's right at what Ashton Gelati is. So I think he should be able to put his hand in the dirt and learn that a little bit, because he's got an explosive first step and a very good bull rush. We've seen that just this
100%.
week. But
it's just it's like a learning curve for him. Like if he were to come in here and have to put his hand in the dirt, it's just something he's not accustomed to. So I mean, it's definitely, it could slow up his progression as far as in the NFL. But I mean, I definitely think he could adapt. He's a good enough athlete.
His major problem when I watched his film, though, he's not the smallest guy. Again, like he's Ashton Gelati's size. Go back and watch Ashton Gelati in college when he had to set the edge versus like even a tackle or even a tight end. He could set the edge pretty well. Gelati was strong. Derek Moore is strong, but when they run at him, he can't stack and shed anybody. And he was getting beat up by tight ends. Like guys that were smaller than him he couldn't stack and shed them guys at the line of scrimmage. So he may be a tougher sell for a Spags defense, to be honest.
Yeah. Got a 5 bomb from Welter. It says if you saw World out of Oregon in the 4th round, would you grab him?
A World.
Would you grab him?
Would I grab him? I don't really know. I don't have my top 100 together. I mean, you're gonna have to get to a top 100 to try to get a round 4 guy coming in.
Right.
So I mean, it's tough to say right now.
I mean, there's some really good. There's some good offensive linemen in here that I think could go later. The guy's name that I can never say. It starts with an I, and it's just all blah blah blah. That dude, and I wish I could remember his school, so I didn't sound like I'm just babbling right now.
Are you the kid from Penn State? Is that what you're talking about? Because I think they're going to kick him into a guard. Oh, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about that kid that's actually showing up and like doing well at the Senior Bowl. The one from Arizona State.
Yes.
He's got a really long name.
Yeah, that's him.
It's a hard name to pronounce.
But like these are kids that
Max? Is that his name, Max?
Yeah, Max.
Heineker or something like that?
I'm just going to call him Max I. But either way, that kid's a monster. And I like Isaiah World. I haven't really watched a whole lot of the tackle tape or anything yet, but like I think any time that you're investing in the offensive line in the draft, it's really hard to get mad at. Like even in years where you didn't necessarily feel like we needed to be doing it, like they were drafting Hunter Norzad and CJ Hansen and things like that, and people were never mad at those picks. Like it's just like when you're getting them in the mid rounds and you're just getting depth. I don't think you ever go wrong there. So I mean, potentially Welter, maybe. We'll see, but yeah, when we actually get our rankings together too, it'd probably make a little bit more sense. I mean, I'm not sure what round he might be in at the moment.
I mean, my initial rankings would have put him probably in like round 2 to round 3. So if he's there in round 4, I would say probably that's a pretty good.
I mean, he's a monster, dude. He's like 6'8".
Yeah. So I would say like round 2, round 3 is where he's probably going to settle. So yeah, I'd say pick round 4 is probably fine there.
Got the 10 bomb from Flapjack Baby. He says, let's make $88.2 million in cap space. then sign our needs of free agency when the draft comes. We just got to draft on needs just once. We don't have to draft on needs. I know what you're saying. Said Veach, you're welcome for my services. Sincerely, Jack City. Well, Brett Veach really does like to draft as best player available. He normally doesn't like to go into a draft needing anything. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, even like the Xavier Worthy pick was strange because we didn't have to have it, but he just like, there's a lot of other concerns we had. And he's like, trade up, get this kid. You know, Brett Veach is very by the cuff, you know, like he'll, if it's, you know, up there on his big board and they're available and it's good value, he's going to take them. So, but I agree, Flapjack. I think that free agency is key this season, man. I'm telling you, I think we need to grab some big pieces. If they went out and somehow cleared enough money to get a Breece Hall or Boye Mafe or something like that, I'd be ecstatic because it'd be the first time in a long time where we got a piece in free agency that you were just excited about and was like, that's going to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like Christian Fulton last year, it was like, oh, it's intriguing. But then, of course, it turned into him not being able to stay on the football field. But we also knew his weaknesses playing for the Chargers and stuff. But this would be a different level. Like if you go out and get a Breece Hall, like all of a sudden it's like Brett Veach ain't effing around. Like now we got, you know, one of the best running backs in the league and go into the draft and just, you don't even have to worry about Jeremiyah Love or whoever, you know?
So have Chiefs Kingdom and you specifically, have you guys given up on signing Kyle Pitts? Because we've not heard about that anymore. It's all about Breece Hall and a pass rusher. Have we given up on the Pitts
to that? I do think we're going to get more year of Kelsey. And don't quote me on that because he could surprise us all of a sudden. But I think we're going to get one more year of Kelsey. But I still think you go try to grab Pitts too. I mean, be a player. See what you can do.
Could you get rid? What if you don't spend the money on Pitts because he's going to be a little pricey?
If you can get Sadiq.
Sadiq's an awesome. I love Sadiq. People would probably cry about it. I'd say Chiefs Kingdom would cry because I don't think that they're ready for a player like Sadiq. I don't think that they've figured out Sadiq and his beautifulness. But here's what I think.
Or Isaiah Likely.
Isaiah Likely. That was the one I was thinking of. What if you bring Isaiah Likely in and you go ahead and you just get rid of Noah Gray? We just free up some cap space there.
100%, because I think Isaiah Likely is a little bit better than Noah Gray. Obviously, I think it's a different tier there. And
a Kelsey, Isaiah Likely 1-2 punch right there would be a pretty nice dynamic.
And just Isaiah Likely when Kelsey retires would be okay too.
Exactly. I think that's fine too.
And you know, it's a lot more likely now that he doesn't want to be in Baltimore. You know, I mean, Harbaugh's not there. There's some rumblings about Lamar getting moved.
Aren't they losing their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator? I'm not for sure, but
I think Monken left. Monken went to I can't remember. He
Cleveland?
left. Yeah, that's it. Went to the Browns.
Yeah, Todd
Monken. Sammy Joe with the 2 bombs says plenty of defensive end and DB depth in this draft. Day 2 steals. I think so. Like the more I keep digging in, the more I keep seeing guys. It's like these guys could be a hell of a day 2, day 3 pick. Like you know. People are overlooking some of these guys, and now that normally does happen this early in the draft process. Once, you know, the cream rises to the top usually before the draft happens, and everybody kind of has a good idea. And you're still going to have your, you know, Puka Nakuas out there that people just for some reason completely overlook, unless you're Mike. But I think that there's definitely some good players down the board in this draft, defensively for sure. Let's see, Welter with the 2. Says you guys don't like Nick Singleton from Penn. I did.
You want me to take that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't dislike Nick Singleton, but I don't even think he's the best prospect coming out of Penn State. I think Katron Allen is going to get more buzz when it comes to all of his stuff, and I'll tell you why. His rushing grade. So Nick Singleton was good a few years ago. Last year, he just had a really, really bad year. And a lot of people say, well, that's not who you are. But I think it kind of is. I've not seen tons of players that just regressed in their college career and then went to the NFL and killed it. Like, to me, I feel like it gets in your head a little bit. I feel like it crushes your draft stock. It kills the momentum, and then you get just stuck in bad situations. Not saying you couldn't completely turn it around. He's got a lot of traits that you like. But check it out. Versus Katron Allen. Katron Allen was rated a rushing grade of a 91 compared to Nick Singleton's 76. So he's head and shoulders better in rushing grade. He's head and shoulders better versus the zone, versus the gap. The elusiveness rating for Katron Allen, 103. The elusive rating for Nick Singleton is one of the worst in this entire class. It may be the worst, actually. I take it back. He's the fourth worst. The worst is C.J. Donaldson out of Ohio State, Jam Miller out of Alabama, Roydell Williams out of Florida State. These guys aren't even running the ball a lot. So when it comes to people that's actually running the football a lot, Nick Singleton's one of the worst. 47 elusiveness rating. He's not very elusive. Chiefs fans want a home run hitter. This is what this kid did for a couple years, but not in 2025. In 2025, Nick Singleton had 3 carries that went for 15 yards. That's it, 3 carries. Katron Allen, 17. Katron Allen forced 57 missed tackles. Nick Singleton, 19. One of the worst in the entire class. So I don't know what the hell happened to Nick Singleton this year, but he stunk. And I think it's really going to hurt his draft class. I still think he's worth probably a round 4 pick. I'm not gonna give anything above a round 4, maybe in a round 5 for that guy.
Dang,
I
man,
just
you
can't take the
really
chance there.
You really just pooped on Nick Singleton, bro.
I think Katron Allen is going to be looked at a better prospect. I really do.
No, I agree. I'm right there with you. I think so too. For all the reasons you just said. Flapjack with the 5 bomb says, "Can we get a sausage patty icon in honor of Chris Jones?" Should we get a sausage patty? Sausages.
Go
You
for
remember?
it, man.
Anybody else remember that old dog commercial where it's just like sausage?
Sausages.
Yeah. What happened to that? Bring those back.
What was that? Was that like a
bring back
dog
good
food or a
commercials.
dog treat? Was that a McDonald's commercial? What was
What
it?
if it was a Jimmy Dean commercial with a dog in it? You know, I don't know.
That's who should bring it back, Jimmy Dean. Why
Yeah.
not?
Sammy with a 2 says Bailey has elite first step. Everything else is mid. I like Bailey a lot. I think he's fun, but he's just like Cassius Howell to me. Like, love the players, but they're not gonna be a Chief. I just don't see it. Like, we couldn't use Josh Uche. I mean, we just couldn't. We couldn't figure out how to use him. And then when we did put him out there, he wasn't that effective in our scheme. And then he goes to, Philly, and within the first 4 weeks, he was like one of the top pass rushers in football. And it's like, that's the guy we had on the sideline for, the last half of the last season. But yeah, a lot of people love Bailey. They want to see the Chiefs get Bailey, but I don't see it, man. First of all, I think he'll go high too. I still think, obviously, Reuben Bain's the first defensive end that's going to go, but I think Bailey could be the second.
I mean, you could flip that depending on scheme.
Yeah.
So
Honestly.
I'm with you. I don't think that. I think making Bailey a Chief, I think, is it can be done. It's kind of trying to fit a square peg through a round hole. Like, you could take a hammer and force it through there. So he may come here, but I think it's very, very unlikely. I just don't think it's tough to fit Spag's scheme with what he's basically just he's a hell of a player and a game wrecker at that position. But those guys don't tend to be all that great in the NFL. They just don't. It's tough to just be a specific pass rush specialist, and that's it. You can't provide any run help or anything. It's tough.
Yeah. FMI 58 with a 2 bomb. Appreciate you. Thanks for the support. Yeah, man. Draft. I feel like we're right in the middle of draft coverage right now. Like, we've gone crazy on the draft. We did this live stream to talk about the ties that she's had to Jeremiyah Love, and we've just turned it into a straight draft episode, baby. We were led by our people in the chat.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, you're talking about Jeremiyah Love, so I mean, that's the draft.
right.
So.
I know, but you got people out here like Sammy and Welterd, and they're like, come on.
Draft,
Come on.
baby.
Let's talk about the draft. Let's do it. Appreciate you guys donating and everything. Hit the like button if you haven't yet. It just takes a second, and that helps us out a lot. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. That would be appreciated. We're trying to get to 60,000 subscribers before this next season kicks off. I think we're at 53,000 and some change now. So help us out. Share us out with friends and things like that. Let's get that thing going. That would be freaking awesome. And we got some more to talk about and more to get to. But first, I just wanted to shout out Zarda Barbecue for sponsoring tonight's live stream as well. You guys get over to Zarda if you're in Blue Springs or Lenexa. Get yourself an $11 lunch Monday through Friday. Delicious food, great people, and you don't want to miss it. Just get over there and get yourself some Zarda. They've always been good to all Chiefed Up, the ACU crew. We do our yearly meet up there, usually around camp, and they treat us well. It's always a good time and good food. And let's do it.
It's rolling in. It's rolling in. JB with 10 gifted, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
JB in the house, baby. Let's go.
JB's like, look.
That's how you make an entrance.
He said you may be talking about the draft, and it may just be January 29th, which is the weirdest thing ever, being a Chiefs fan talking about the draft on January 29th. And it's not 2010. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Well, to be fair, at least there's only two teams left in this thing right now, so we don't feel as bad as we did a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Hey, JB lurking in the shadows, and then all of a sudden, just poof.
Love it. Is there anybody out there rooting for the Patriots this week, or
No.
are we just on agreement it's Seattle or nothing?
Yeah. Do you really want the Patriots homers back at it?
It's tough.
It's already
man,
bad.
with these dudes already starting again. Like there's something like they're mad because Belichick didn't get in the Hall of Fame. And look, I think he was robbed. I really do. It's insane he wasn't in. But like they're like they just can't accept greatness. But yet these are the same people who've been saying that our dynasty was led by the refs and it's not a real dynasty and it was soft. And it's like you fools have been doing this for 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
This is
with the
probably
Chiefs.
because of the attitude everybody's had about all of the dynasties.
Right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. I hope Seattle just stomps a mud hole in them.
Yeah. Hey, if you got one of those memberships from JB, make sure to thank him in the chat. You're a freaking legend, JB. Thank you so much. We got Jaron with the 2 bomb. Says, would you trade McDuffie for BTJ? Dude, that's an interesting one. Brian Thomas Jr. would have been sick for the Chiefs. And Mike, you pointed that out as well.
Yeah.
Like,
I
Mike
don't
is
know
the
what
wide
it is
receiver
about Mike
guru.
and wide receivers.
So check this out. Mike also last year, his Puka Nakua of last season was Ricky Pearsall, right?
Yeah.
Do you all remember that? Ricky Pearsall. And then he got shot, and then everybody was like, well, maybe Mike was wrong. He was the most elite in separation in the entire league this year. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
It's pretty wild.
And guess who was up there within the top 3? Puka Nakua.
Puka. And then Devontae Adams was up there too.
Wild though. Hey.
So, yeah.
But yeah, BTJ. I might have said that backwards when I said it the first time.
Brian
but,
Thomas.
I knew what I was saying. I knew who we were talking about. Brian Thomas, dude, he really balled out his rookie season. This last season, I feel like, the Jags were more relevant, but I feel like he was kind of in the shadows, not necessarily in the shadows, but he wasn't like the only thing that they were talking about when it comes to the Jags, right? Because the Jags had Cohen there now, and they were just doing a lot of stuff. That offense looked a lot better. But Mike, would you trade McDuffie for him? Because I don't know if that makes sense, or does it?
That's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. Look, I think Chris Jones is probably the best player on our defense right now. Would you agree?
Well, yeah, of course.
But Chris Jones is also getting ready to be old, and he's already starting to diminish a little bit.
What does that make us?
But I'm just saying,
We're
he's starting to
geezers.
diminish, and people's already like saying that they wasn't pleased with his stats and everything this year. They didn't like his effort. There's a lot of games people were just on. I mean, people's wanting to trade Chris Jones right now. So, I mean, if Chris Jones, let's just say Chris Jones isn't here, Chris Jones just can't come up to that level, Trent McDuffie's the best player on this defense. So it's like, are we really giving up the best player potentially right now on this defense for BTJ, who, yeah, he's great, but we're already talking about getting out of the going over the top of this. We're already talking about the league changing to getting back to running backs. We're already talking about Patrick Mahomes having to go up
pairing
against
him up
7
with
deep
O'Shea,
every
and
time.
O'Shea's roots with
It's
Randy
possible,
Moss
yeah.
could be kind of interesting.
But we didn't use Tyquan Thornton. He was very effective at going deep. We barely used him this year. So who's to say?
Side note, did you see Tyquan Thornton's Instagram story today?
I didn't, but what did he say?
He put a song up with some lyrics that was talking about how he just wants a shot and hopes he gets it. It's basically what it translates to is he just wants a shot, he'll take it, and he doesn't want to be anywhere else. That was pretty much what he's throwing out there, man. So I think he's hoping to get back with the Chiefs, and I think that would be great.
I think that would be a decent signing if he'll sign for a good price.
Flapjack City, baby, with the 5 bombs says, what would Veach have to do in the draft that would make you throw your remote at the TV? That's a good question. I like that. Let me think
So
real
I'm
quick.
assuming this has to be.
I never think backwards like this, but maybe this is a good exercise.
So I'm assuming it has to be pick number 1. So round 1,
Number
pick
9.
9.
Yeah. Yep.
I think trading up into like the top 5 to take like Jeremiyah Love, I'd be a little irritated. I don't know if I'd break the TV over that, but I don't think I want to trade up for the running back. There's not a lot of players in this draft I would trade up for. Let's put it that way. If I would much rather, I'm talking like 95 to 5%. I would rather
see
go in
the
the other
Chiefs
way.
trade up, I'm instantly going to think they're going
Yeah,
after
I'm gonna be a little
Jeremiyah Love
irritated.
or Reuben Bain. Like, who else would they be trying to trade up to get?
But see, the Chiefs do weird stuff, and they've always been known to like value players that don't seem like other people are valuing. I could see them trading up to like number 6 to take Keldrick Falk. Like that would really piss me off. So there you go. There's your answer. Trading up to the top 5 to take Keldrick Falk.
Yeah,
I'd
I
throw
got another
myself
one for you.
into the dog pit over.
I got another one for you. Since we were just talking about McDuffie, and McDuffie's been great. He's an elite cornerback, top 3 in the league. And we're sitting here talking about should we trade him away because we just don't pay corners.
Yeah.
If we draft a corner in the first round, or like really high,
irritate it.
or if you trade back and still draft a corner in the first, that would irritate me a little bit because, I get the idea of replenishing the corners in the draft, but I think we can do that mid rounds. We've been doing it mid rounds.
I think corners got enough guys that you could absolutely get some good steals later on. You got to take one of the top 15.
Yep. Josh Vasquez with the 2 says Zachariah Branch, why can't I talk? Wide receiver from Georgia. Mike, this is another guy that you told me you really liked, right? He's a little speedster.
I love this dude. He's my guy. Love Zach Branch. When Mike says he loves a wide receiver, let's all pay attention. Zach Branch is good.
Why does he sound more like a country music artist than a football player?
He's really good.
Zachariah Branch.
Are you thinking of like Zach Top or something?
I don't know.
But anyways, yeah, I love Zachariah Branch. I think he's got that like Tyreek-esque wiggle about him. Again, I think the Chiefs don't need to keep trying to replicate to go get Tyreek Hill. I absolutely don't. But yeah, I love Zachariah Branch. I think he's going to get himself up into the top 50. He'll probably be a day 2 pick by the time it's all said and done. I really believe that. He's small. He's 5'10", 180. So he's no smaller than Xavier Worthy. But yeah, he's a yak guy. He's going to go get a lot of yards after the catch. I like him. But I will say 0 to 60 in like 0 time. He's like a freaking Tesla Plaid or whatever those things are. He's good, man. Rare stop-start ability. This dude, he was a track star. I mean, he's just awesome. He comes from an athletic family. The only problem is I want to say...
Look what you did, Josh Vasquez. You got Mike horned up.
Yeah. The only thing about him is I want to say, like, out of all of his catches this year, I want to say, like, 95% of them come within, like, 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. But the Chiefs need to do that. Patrick Mahomes in this offense sometimes gets most effective when he'll get the ball out of his hands really quick and let the yak guys eat.
Right.
I like Branch. I'd take him.
Yep. Well Turd with the 2 bombs says, why not Allen then in 3rd round? Or why not take Allen in the 3rd round and get Sadiq or Downs in the 1st? That's not a bad option right there. First round Sadiq would be rough unless we trade back. I can't imagine taking a tight end at number 9.
Downs at number 9.
That's the one thing that we haven't really talked about. I mean, we've said it a couple times, but let's be honest here. Trading back is probably the most likely scenario for Brett Veach at number 9.
It should be. You're going to get more draft capital.
Well, we don't have enough draft capital. We don't have nearly as much as Brett Veach likes to go into the draft with.
Right.
We all know how he likes to move up and down the boards and do his thing. He can't do that really with what we got going on right now. So how what better way to free yourself up a little bit than just trade back? And you could probably get some good returns for it too, man. I mean, that would be that's an idea. But yeah, I mean, if Downs is there at number 9, like Mike said earlier, this kid's a can't miss blue chip prospect. Like, he's going to be a dog. Like, you almost have to take a look.
Dude,
at
pairing
that.
him up with like Jaden Hicks would be nasty.
Yeah, dude. Well, if we
You
could
see
ever
what-
get him to play
Look
Jaden
what
Hurts.
Nick Eamon-Morey did as a second-round pick for the Seahawks just in this past game. Like, he altered that game as a safety. So don't tell me a safety can't. How many times do we see our safeties? Chamari Connor blows games all the time. Safeties absolutely impact the game.
Remember how much everybody hated Dan Sorensen?
Right, but he'd make a good play every once in a while. when
Every
it
once in a
counted.
while,
But that's
he'd
what I'm
make a
saying.
good play.
Safeties can absolutely impact a football game. So to say that these aren't impact positions are just out of control.
Yeah. Got a 2-bomb from our girl Brenda. She says, do you think we might look at O-line, tackle at number 9? Francis Maigoa?
There's a couple, man.
I think that would be a cool pick for us. I think that could be a really good right tackle piece and just kind of use Jalen Moore as a bridge this year. Go ahead and get rid of Juwan Taylor, save that cap space or that cap money.
Yeah.
Use Jalen Moore this year, get Francis ready to go. But I don't think you spend a 9 pick there. Like, to me, Brenda, any other year, I would say absolutely. We got to get a tackle for this high up in the draft. I mean, there were years where people were begging to trade up and get Joe Alt. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And like stuff like that. But we were able to land a elite left tackle at pick 32. So I think right now, as far as tackles go, we're not in a bad space. Now, we do probably want something long-term after, this year because, we got one more year of Jalen Moore. And we did see a report that they were talking about maybe they could, extend Juwan Taylor, which would have people completely flipping
Man.
out.
Steve,
But
you
apparently
remember
they
we
could.
talked about that.
Apparently they could save up to like
People didn't like it.
$15 million in cap space
Yeah.
by just extending them.
See, people absolutely hated when we brought that up, and I said I don't think you can rule it out necessarily.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Look, Spencer Fano out of Utah could be there. Caleb Lomu out of Utah could be there. I don't know if I want to give up a number 9 pick for a right tackle.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could maybe take one at number 40. I think maybe at number 40 you've got like Monroe Freeling out of Georgia, 6'7", 315, and he's an outside zone tackle. He does exactly what
Who's
we
that
need.
kid from Iowa that plays tackle, but I think he's going to be a guard, and he's just like a piece.
Yeah, he's
What
been
is
doing
his
pretty
name?
well. It's Jennings Dunker.
Jennings Dunker. is
But
a
he
monster.
can absolutely play outside an outside zone tackle. Now I think he's a little, he can get pushed around a little bit, but I do think that he could.
Does it give
Also,
you,
the kid from there's a kid
Wyatt
from Duke,
Milam
Brian
vibes?
Parker Jr. Who is it?
Does it give you Wyatt Milam vibes, like where he's just like a dog, but like
Kinda,
he could be a
yeah.
really good guard?
I mean, any lineman out of Iowa's got that grit about him, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah,
But yeah,
buddy.
I don't know if I consider one at number 9 though. Do you, Steve? At 40, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I think
Yeah.
I like tackle in like maybe round 3.
I think that's the answer for us, Brenda. Is just at number 9 seems too rich for tackle at the moment, which is weird to say after all these other years of just begging to get a
Unless,
tackle,
like
right?
you said, the kid from Miami, Francis Maigoa, I think is how you pronounce it.
I know I never can say his name
He
either. so-
plays. I mean, he's going to play on the right side. I think.
Yeah.
He started all 13 games at right tackle in 2023 and 2024. So
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he played right tackle this year too. So the kid can play right tackle. That'd be a pretty decent pick. I think a lot of Chiefs fans wouldn't love it. I'll put it that way. I don't think they'd love a tackle.
Yeah, I don't think fans would be very happy about that. That's not a
No,
flashy pick,
they want the
especially
flashy
after
pick.
last year. Yeah. So we got a 2-bomb from Weltert. Says, who is out there for our running back coach? Mike, the Chiefs still haven't got a running back coach together here. Pinkston out. Who do you think they put
Right.
in?
Well, they're bringing Deland MCullough in, and I think they're going to bring.
Oh,
that's
duh.
who they're going to sign.
I forgot all about that. That's what's
the whole
going to
point
happen.
of the episode.
Yeah, here I am. I'm cracking up right now because I was like, as soon as you said it, I was like, we were literally just talking about this. That's
The
funny.
point of
But you
the-
know what?
I think they're
Well,
going to.
I wasn't the only one.
Sign
I was the only one that forgot. Weltert obviously did too. Thanks for the 2-bomb. Let's freaking
Yeah, I think
go.
I think it's McCullough. I think they'll get that done.
And then they're going to get Jeremiyah Love, and everybody's going to go nuts. That's what's going to happen. We got our boy Phil McCamus in the house with the 20 bomb, baby. Let's go. Top 3 free agent choices for both of you. By the way, Steve, you are the only dude that pronounces my last name correctly. And I hope I did it just now.
I don't know if you did.
I hope I did, because that would be embarrassing if I messed it up
If you
the
missed it
one
on
time that he said I didn't do that.
That's funny.
Hey,
Who's your top 3 free agent choices?
I think just to keep it like pretty simple, instead of like the 3 that I hope we get, I'll just say the 3 that I hope we go after and land at least one of them would be Brees Hall, Boye
Yeah.
Mafe, and Kyle Pitts. That's my 3. Or I let's go Pitts / Isaiah Likely, because I just think that it's time for us to get a tight end that can take the helm after Kelsey, because we keep saying this year after year, but if Kelsey gives us one more year, he's giving us one more year. I don't think we're going to be having the same conversation next year as we're having this year, where it's like, is he going to play again? Is he going to play
Right.
again? I mean,
think
maybe.
he's just done.
Maybe, but I think the time's running out. Like, we've got to do something there. So either you get one of those 2 guys, or you go out there and try to draft Sadiq, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I think if so, who are your 3?
Brees Hall, Boye Mafe, and either one of those tight ends there. That's where I'm at. We got to target those 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I like Isaiah Likely. I think that's a good one. I think I would prefer Likely over
Pitts?
Kyle Pitts, to be honestly,
Well,
because
for
of
the price,
the
potentially.
money and the way it fits.
But
And
you
I think he's just
Likely's
as
probably
dynamic
going to
and
make.
could be just as dynamic.
He's probably going to make pretty good money too, though.
He's probably going to be around that 13 to 15 range too. I mean, I feel like it nowadays you're going to have certain teams that just got a lot of money, like the Raiders and stuff. Like you've always got those teams that'll just come out and overpay for things that they really want. So it's possible he's going to get too much. I think it's not likely we get him, so I'm not going to go with the likely we get him, but likely would be one. If I had to go to the wide receiver, I think that I like Alec Pierce. I think he would be a great X receiver in this. Like if you want to draft like the Carnell Tates of the world, but I think Alec Pierce has done it in this league, and he can do it. And I liked Alec Pierce coming out of the draft too, if you remember.
Yeah.
If you want to take another wide receiver out, he's not been good for a couple years, but if the price was right, his market value is only at $5 million per year. So if you could get him for like 2 years, $10 million, I would almost still consider Christian Kirk at just 29 years old. I
mean, he
maybe
balled
consider
out.
that.
He balled out this year.
That's what I'm saying. And with an Andy Reid offense, I would almost consider that. And then,
He got severely overpaid last time, though.
yeah, he did. So his market value is not as high now. And then let's go ahead and let's take a defender. I honestly really like. I know a lot of people are on, like the Boye Mafes and stuff, but I honestly like John Franklin Myers. Played with Denver, played with the Jets. I think he's a good fit in this defense. I think he can be kicked inside, outside with Spags. I think that'd be a guy I'd like to get for some defensive line depth. I think that could be a really big upgrade over a Diana and a Charles Omenihu.
Yeah, I like those picks, man. I like those picks. I saw where somebody in the chat earlier, and I couldn't find it, or I'd shout you out, but they said something funny back when we were talking about Juwan Taylor, and they were like, it would be nice to see EB get all over his ass.
It would be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
Hey, I bet they'd be fighting the whole time, man. That'd be hilarious. Good call there. Appreciate the 20 bomb, Phil. You're freaking awesome.
Yeah,
brother.
appreciate
Thanks
you,
for the
man. Good
support.
question, too.
Got a 5 from Damien. He says, on chat time out for talking a little smack. Chiefs fans softer than jelly. Gotta love the rivalry. All love, guys. Go Patriots.
Somebody put you in
hashtag new
timeout.
dynasty. That's funny.
Oh, Damien's a Patriots fan.
Yeah. Hey, bro.
Sorry you got put in timeout, brother.
We welcome everybody here as long as they're respectful, and a little smack talk's okay, but you definitely might get timed out by somebody. It depends on what day you catch them on. Depends on how sensitive they are.
Yeah.
It could happen.
The
But
mods
no,
will get
man.
you.
I mean, here's what I'll say. I don't think there's really a rivalry there. They're used absolutely. So I'll say this. I think it's going to be the rivalry, though. I think the Josh Allen thing is done. Like, I don't think that's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I think it's going to end up being Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be the old Chiefs and Patriots, baby. The Patriots are good, and they're young. And, obviously,
Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel's got them where they need to
said
be.
that. That was a match made in heaven there, and Vrabel was a hell of a coach.
Yeah, but, we're not soft, man. We're not soft. We got thick skin. Everybody's been telling us we cheated, just like the Patriots,
Yeah, we all got that. We all got that cheating accusation going.
I don't know about no new dynasty, by the way, either. Let's see if you can beat the Seahawks first, and then we'll see. Roy G, baby, with a month-long membership, says go Kyle Pitts and go get decent running back Hall, ETN, Kenneth Walker, and trade up in the draft and get Bain. Sweet Jesus. He's going all out.
Yeah, he's winning now. He's in win now mode.
Kenneth Walker
we should
earned
be.
himself a payday. That
Yeah, I
guy's a
think
dog
Walker
anyway.
and I honestly think Hall and Walker could have priced themselves out of KC, and I think Kyle
think
Pitts
about-
is going to price himself out of here too. Like I'd love to have any of them, but
Yeah.
I honestly just don't know if Brett Veach
Brees
can pull it
Hall
off.
is an option because Brett Veach wanted him already, and maybe he could try to make it work. Because when Brett Veach gets his eyes set on somebody, he likes to go get him. Etienne, great fit for the Chiefs.
What was the Jets trying to get draft pick wise?
Third.
Him? Was it a third or a second?
I think we were trying to give a third, and they wanted.
So if you're trying to
something
give a pick number 9 to Jeremiyah Love, who's never played a snap, like he's good, but he's never played a snap in the NFL.
right,
But they wouldn't fork over a round 3 pick for a proven guy that you really liked. To me, that's a little weird.
no, I think they wanted a round 2, and Brett Veach was trying
Was
to
it
give
they
him
wanted a
3.
round 2?
I think. I don't remember.
Well, that might be something
something
because
like that.
Brett Veach knew we sucked, I guess, and was going to end up having a top 10 pick in every round. So
Yeah. Mike could be right about Kyle Pitts being priced out of KC. That could absolutely happen, but I do think that would be a great fit as well. Likely is a little bit more likely, I would say. But, man, I like it. I mean, Roy,
do you
if
think
that
Likely
happens,
would even come here? Like,
Why not?
remember he
That toe?
hated the Chiefs
'Cause that toe?
over that toe thing. Like, he was cussing the fans, cussing everything. Like, he
Well.
hated us. That could just be that competitive.
hey,
juice,
you'd
though,
be
you
mad.
know?
You'd be mad, too, if you were a toenail away.
Yeah, if you didn't cut
Yeah.
them toenails, those big old claws, baby, you got to cut those bad boys.
Nikki been a member for 29 months. Let's freaking go, Nikki. Thank you. She says drafting just about anyone but a pass rusher in round 1 would make me throw the remote. I just wish it was September already.
She's launching remotes.
Hey, I've been right there with you all off season, Nikki. Well, not all off season, but like our off season. What after we lost to the Texans when it was officially the off season or whatever. That
After week
Chargers game.
6.
Yeah. But either way, I've been saying like Chiefs' top priority has to be pass rush, and I think that's why so many people, when you say, "Oh, they're talking about maybe getting Jeremiyah Love," people's just like, "Oh no, we don't need that. No, we need pass rush." I get that. I 100% get that, but at the same time, like sometimes you got to weigh it out, and I think Jeremiyah Love could be a game changer for our offense, and our offense was our problem last year, and you could still try to get some pass rush like I said, they were after Boye Mafe at the trade deadline, and he's going to be a free agent.
Right, so they could address it in free agency. Even with John Franklin Myers, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ever going to get like a Trey Hendrickson, though. That'd be kind of
No.
fun, but I think he's just a little too old.
I think I got another 10 gifted from our
JB.
boy JB.
Let's go. Appreciate you, brother.
We
We need it. It's
JB.
been a rough month, man. Chief fans have went into hibernation. You guys are the real ones right now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It is struggle bus. Like, we're getting about 25 to 30% of the plays and the views and everything we usually get during the season. We're getting like 30% of that right now, which means
Yeah.
our income's down to about 30% of that right now.
Yeah, baby. So we
It
appreciate
is a
you guys
rough go
donating.
right now. Chief fans are about done with it.
Yeah, you guys donate, and you guys are awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. If y'all got one of those memberships, make sure to thank them in the chat. We got Sammy with a 2-bomb. Says pick should be Baines, Woods, Downs, Love, or
Sammy
Lemon.
added a few extra here.
Well, she said best fits last time, and now she's saying if that first pick, if we don't trade it back, it better be one of these guys. And I don't know if I completely disagree with that.
I like Bain. I like Woods. I like Downs. I like Love. I like Lemon. So
I do think Lemon
fine
is
with
definitely
it.
the best fit. Let's go, baby. Let's see. Well turd with a 2-bomb.
Ooh.
Mike and Steve, top 100 sleeper pick so far. I'm going to
just
go.
a random sleeper.
I'm going to probably take the cheap way out. I already talked about him earlier, but I'm going to go with Mike Washington Jr. I think like a lot of people does
I
not
think he'll
really.
go top 100.
I think he
It's
might
possible.
sneak in there. I think he might sneak in and be a beast. He
Right.
looks like a freaking NFL running back, bro. He looks, like I said, I don't give a Derrick Henry comp lightly, and I don't think he's Derrick Henry, obviously, but there's just something there. Like the dude's a dog, so I'll go with him.
That's a good one. there's so many. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near top 100, but I'll say this guy started off as like a round 3. He's went to round 2, and I think he may slide into round 1 by the time this process is done. It's a wide receiver I love out of Indiana, and it's not Sarai. It's Omar Cooper Jr. 6 foot
you've
200.
been talking about him, yeah.
He is a yak monster. He is literally one of my 3 or 4 my guys right now. He's about to take over my Ricky Pearsall, my Puka Nakua call. Like, he's right there. I've not made a decision on who I want to do, but you guys have talked about 2 of them tonight. Omar Cooper and somebody brought up Zach Branch. That's 2 of my 3. I'll keep the third one secretive for another little bit. But Omar Cooper Jr., dude, he would do what Rashee Rice does better than Rashee Rice, 100%. I firmly believe that. If the Chiefs want to move off Rashee Rice and you can get Omar Cooper Jr., at number 40, it would be the biggest steal you ever got because he is going to replicate it and do it better. In my opinion, I think he does it better. Like, he's not as
you
tall.
Think he's better after the catch?
100%. 1,000%.
No.
I believe it. I think he can get there. Absolutely. You got to go watch his film. You got to trust me.
Okay, I'll check it out.
He is so good. Now, look, a lot of people's mad. Well, he's not 6'1", he's not 6'2". Okay, I get it. He's 6 foot, but this big,
Yeah, it's not that big, though.
on a giant 100-yard football field, this is not going to really be that big of a difference.
Yeah.
So this kid can flat out play, and I believe he'll get himself into the first round. Omar Cooper's going to have a payday coming. Just wait till the combine. He's going to be one that's very much talked about.
JB been a member for 2 months now, Mike, and has gifted out at least 100 members their memberships.
Dude, JB is killing. Love it.
Yeah. JB, we appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being a legend. And then we got our boy JCP in the house. Let the boy watch. Member for 20 months. Says, I've been hearing Montgomery wants to come to KC from Detroit.
Oh, David, huh?
Now, I mean, this isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but that wouldn't be bad. I think David Montgomery has been a good back from the Bears to the Lions to, I think he's still got some juice left in the tank, right?
Yeah, the juice is loose.
Juice.
I don't know. I don't know if he moves the needle for me, though, right? He's not going to be the guy that comes in. He's going to chunk off big-time runs and things like that. Like, I just don't know if he's that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he can't do it, but I think I want to swing a little higher than David Montgomery.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, I'm not mad at it. If he
Steve,
were to come here, that would be a piece there, but I still want
right.
that bit.
We talked about Montgomery, but can I go back to Jeremiyah Love for 1 second? Because you were talking about Jeremiyah Love not being maybe necessarily a Saquon Barkley or a Bijan Robinson or a Christian McCaffrey.
I feel like he's more at the Ashton Genty.
Okay, cool. Here's what I'll say. Do you think the Chiefs' offense would be amazing, or do you think it would just be mid or whatever, like with Jahmyr Gibbs? Because he mentioned Montgomery. So what about Jahmyr Gibbs in this offense?
Jahmyr Gibbs would be amazing. We talked about that.
Absolutely. Do you think Jahmyr Gibbs is on the Christian McCaffrey level? Saquon Barkley level?
Oh, no.
Exactly. So does that mean Love could be maybe Jahmyr Gibbs level? Could he maybe
I said
be
that back at the beginning of the episode.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
I said Jahmyr Gibbs, Alvin Kamara type.
Right. So looking back on it, if the Chiefs would have had pick number 9 in that draft and nobody else was there, would you have took Gibbs in that draft? I think looking back on it, you probably would have. So
of course.
That's why I think you can't always rule out Jeremiyah Love being there at 9 if he's there just because he's a running back. Chief
KT with a 2 says we will get a wide receiver round 1. Book it, dude. If they get another round 1 wide receiver, I think a lot of people liked the Xavier Worthy pick, but there were a lot of people that did not like that.
Dude, now you're going to have to get one at pick 9? People would probably riot.
Yeah,
I keep going back and forth too.
If they took Cardinal Tate, Mekhi Lemon, somebody like that, though,
how are you ranking those top 3? Are those still your top 3 right now? And if so, how are you ranking those right now? Because I keep moving them like every 3 days. I rearrange those 3. Like I find something I like and I just move them.
Well, I think the best route runner of the group is Tyson.
Yeah, I think he's just so smooth. He's so clean. He gets open. He beats man coverage. I love him.
Now, he does have some injury.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm right there with you. I kind of having trouble with these. Cardinal Tate, dog, right? I love watching it.
He's that vertical threat.
But I will say, there's something about Micaiah Lemon when I watch his tape.
I feel like he just fit with the
He makes
Chiefs.
me want to put him up towards the top of wide receivers.
Yeah.
Dude,
Those
I've
three are
never
so
seen
hard right
anyone
now.
stop on a dime like that dude. Like, he can be going 100 miles an hour, and it's just like, pow,
Yeah. I mean, his yak ability is so tough.
insane. Yeah,
At
dude.
the catch point. Those three, I just keep rotating them. I'm like,
I love his weird attitude, too. Like,
I do think I'm starting to get the Carnell Tate kind of falling behind a little bit, though. I'm thinking the other two are starting to jump up a little higher than Carnell Tate right now for me.
Yeah, dude, it's tough, though. Carnell Tate's really good, too.
And it's because Carnell Tate goes to Ohio State and he's always never getting to be the big dog because he's always playing behind such a great receiver. It's like we just can't see what he would be if he was wide receiver one, right? It's wild.
What about Ohio Tate? What about that?
Ohio Tate? Tate State, let's go.
Tate State.
What do you got
Our
for
boy
us?
JB with a 50 bomb.
What?
Let's go. JB says trying to keep you boys fed during the winter. Appreciate that, my man. Says also happy that EB is back. Not my first choice, but next year will be better. Totally agree with what you're saying there about EB. He wasn't our first choice, but when it come to being in the Andy Reid coaching tree, he was. We thought maybe something cool, but then Chargers went and stole our idea. Chargers went and stole our idea, and he had one of the best first press conferences I've ever seen in my life.
Does it kind of irritate you that the
Kind of made
Chargers
me jealous.
and even Harbaugh being so set in his ways was able to go out and hire a guy that we wanted and like we just wouldn't even consider.
Right.
Like it was just not
and then
even
he
being
comes
considered.
in there. He knocks his first interview out of the park, and it made me jealous. Like, we could have been watching this.
Dude, but EB had a pretty good interview too, though, right? So those two are like the goat of interviews.
Yeah.
Dude, JB, I appreciate that 50, brother.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate that,
Thank
man.
you so much. Thank you so much. We got Reynard in the house, baby, with the 5. Says, I think KC should trade Rice for more picks. Try to get Tyreek, get Omar.
Ooh, Tyreek Hill and Omar Cooper and trade Rashee Rice. I would be down for that, I think. I would be fine with that.
That'd be wild.
I think Omar Cooper's
they're
just
gonna
as
get
good as Rice or better yak, and I think Tyreek back would just be fun.
We're
We're getting the band back together.
They're
Why
getting the whole
not?
damn band back, Randy. That's what I was trying to say.
Randy, there ain't no damn band, Randy. Get them back together. Let's go. We're bringing back Deland MCullough. We're bringing back Tyreek Hill. We're bringing back EB.
That's awesome.
We're bringing back Demarcus Robinson.
Sammy with the 2. That's where we draw the line. I don't want to watch people run backwards. She says drafting big and little citrus would be legendary.
Oh, Mekhi Lemon and Big Citrus out of Iowa State. Let's go.
That'd be
That would be
hilarious,
wild.
actually.
Dude, we can start calling it the Fruit Bowl draft.
Fruit Bowl
The
draft.
Fruit Loop draft, maybe, you know?
I think they have that in Denver every year.
Poor Denver, Colorado. I mean,
Yeah, sorry.
what
Sorry.
poor people over there.
My apologies. Guys, we appreciate you all being here tonight. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support, the donos, and the gifted memberships, JB being a freaking legend. Great conversation tonight, man. And it's going to be fun to dig further into this draft and stuff. And obviously, free agency's coming up. And then, you know, we still have a Super Bowl that has to be played.
Oh.
It's not exciting. It's kind of 2012 or whatever, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll see. But you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. That helps us out. Share us out with your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. We're the #1 independent Chiefs channel on YouTube. So that means we have no management, no backing, no editors, no multi-channel network. It's just me and Mike. It's me and Mike doing all the work.
No money, no
Yeah.
nothing.
But this
we
is
ain't,
like,
hey, we ain't
this
got
is-
shit.
look, man, if you're one of those people that you like things that are organic and like this is from like the ground up and we're just doing the thing with elbow grease, this is where it's at, man. We'd appreciate your support. But
Yeah, man.
you guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Go Chiefs.
Get wild.